Okay, so I'm at day 7 now, and so week 2, 2 days in, and today is my birthday. So my plans to work on the business, on the online stuff, kind of got sidetracked. I spent about 30 minutes on it, but then we spent the day with a friend of mine, my best friend, and well, anyway, my best friend who lives in Belgium happened to come over to America during all this quarantine to hang out and well, be with his family. He's originally from here, but he did not tell me so he could surprise me for my birthday. So we ended up spending the day together. So I have not I did not end up it doesn't look like I'm going to get anything done today, really. With that said, the way I'm approaching it is I want to put in 2 hours a day, but overall that's going to be 10 hours a week. So if I miss a day or something, or if I only get an hour in on one day, then I'll make up for it on another day. So I went live yesterday as far as my first course, and I had my first buyer, which is Mitmaster Matt. Actually, I talked about this yesterday, who a mentor of mine. But anyways, I talked about that. So right now, because right now we're also figuring out about opening up the gym again. So we're trying to figure out how that's going to look. And so they're just allowing people to start opening things up. And so we're still a little bit lost as to what that's going to look like. We're still trying to figure out what the rules are with that and then what the smartest way to actually do it is. And from a lot of the mentoring I'm getting from some of my mentors, it sounds like the best way is to be uber cautious, just to, if for no other reason than to keep the reputation high so that nobody in the community thinks that we're being flippant about it. Do I think that it's as bad as what they're making it out to be? Not really. I also admit I don't really know, but as one of the guys talked about, there would be a lot better ways to handle things at the grocery store if this truly was as bad as people make it out to be. So, so that's why I guess I'm just like, all right, some of this is perhaps just to make sure that everybody feels comfortable, whether or not I agree with it. So that's sort of the big thing on the that's sort of the big thing right now is figuring out not only how to keep the online thing going strong, but to do it while also focusing on getting our gym reopened and reimagining what that's going to look like. Which one of the things that excites me is that it's always hard to change. It's always hard to steer a ship that's already moving quickly. It's always hard to steer it in a different direction. And so, if you've got any sort of business that has picked up traction, in some ways it's like, oh, it's a positive snowball effect. Every year that you spend on something is an investment and it grows. But the reality is there might be things that you wish were different, that as the more years that you spend doing something, the more entrenched it gets, the more the culture around it gets, and the more the way that you've done things becomes kind of the hardened way of doing things. And so, in some ways, I want to approach this where this is a starting over. So, I want to reimagine the business, which is kind of putting a lot of stress on me because A, trying to keep the online thing going, while B, reimagining our business, while C, trying to be a reopening, or at least be right there to reopen before a lot of other gyms do leads. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of pressure. And then D, and so I wasn't going to put work before seeing one of my best friends. And that's one of the beauties of a job like this is that you can kind of renegotiate your schedule. Um, so that's what I've done. And so I might spend a little more time over the weekend working, but But it was definitely worth it. I've had a great birthday. Definitely went over my calorie goals, but you need these times to recharge. We went and walked around the lake or walked around a pond, I guess, actually not a lake, but went and got a delicious baked potato smothered in uh, smothered in what's it called, in meat, in brisket from I forget what that place is called too, but it's delicious. Anyway, yeah, so I don't really have a lot for today, although I am working on creating a webinar. So actually, I can talk about it. So I released the very first course, which is Principle 1 of my 12 Principles of Jeet Kune Do. So it was only $3. And the plan originally was that I would release one new one a week. However, I want to get a virtual class going. So I'm going to work on that, work on creating a webinar to guide people to market the online virtual Jeet Kune Do classes, and then next week market that and go back to building the rest of the program. So that's the plan. I'm working on the webinar. That's what I did for the last half hour, and I'll keep going. But we're coming to the end of our day. Sarah's teaching yoga. It is, it's about 7:30 at night right now, so I'm not gonna get a lot more done. But oh well. Bye bye bye.